This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.
What is shaking, you guys? Welcome to a Tuesday tune-up on the Let's Go Win podcast. I'm J.M. Ryerson, and I call you a special guest because you're here today. That's special.
I'm special. I'm Lisa.
This is my wife, Lisa Ryerson, also a founder of Let's Go Win. So I asked her to come be a part of today's Tuesday tune-up. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is balancing your life by asking and giving. Now, one of my favorite exercises to do with groups, especially if they're brand new and they don't know one another, is to do this. Do an ask, give exercise. And it sounds as simple as it really is. What is your ask, and then what would you give? Because what's really interesting about our world, people will give and give and give, but they're so often are they reluctant to ask. And here's my goal today. I want to not convince you, but I want you to think differently. By not asking, it's actually kind of selfish because people love to help others. People want to help others. And if you don't ask for help or support, you're kind of being a taker. So I'd set that up to kind of throw it your way to say, am I full of shit or am I pretty on par?
No, you're pretty on par for that, for sure. I always had a hard time asking for favors, or I just feel like I can do it all on my own, right? Well, I realized early on, I'm not very tall.
No, you're not.
Like 5'2" on a good day, right? And so it's great that I have all these tall humans around me, especially now both of my kids are taller than me. So I'm constantly asking, hey, can you get that for? And we have really tall cabinets in our house. So I'm constantly asking, hey, can you just grab that for me so I don't have to go lug my step stool? I have step stools all over my house to assist me when no one's here. But yeah, I ask for lots of help.
Well, let's talk about people that aren't comfortable asking for help. These reasons go deep because you don't want to burden someone. You don't want to put someone out. Maybe it's a control issue. Not that anyone here has control issues, but maybe if you ask for help, it's not going to be done as well as, maybe you do. Mm-hmm. So any other thoughts to that? Because again, I'm pretty comfortable. I'm the dude that will ask for directions. This is, back when we didn't have GPS on every item, our cell phones. But I would ask. I don't want to drive around aimlessly. That's stupid. But I had no problem asking. But so often people are afraid to ask, and I don't quite understand it. So maybe I can get your perspective on it. Did you ever have challenges asking? The control issues, I'll go ahead and say she has them. It was specific with doing, I don't know, chores.
They're not issues. They're not issues.
Okay. Challenges?
No, I just like to control things. I don't think that's good, bad, or indifferent.
Okay. Point taken. Control challenges. How's that? But would that be one of the reasons why you wouldn't ask for help is because you don't want to burden someone, or you just know that if you don't do it yourself, it's not going to be done as well? I'm curious.
Yeah, I think A is not burdening someone. B is really a lot of times. So for example, if I were to have JM do the laundry, yeah. And he does a good job. Like he can put it from the washer to the dryer. But as far as the folding part, I personally like to fold all the clothes because I know it's going to be folded the correct way and done the right way, in my opinion, in my world.
What is wrong with my fold?
Well, JM folds his clothes halfway. So if you take a t-shirt, he folds it like this. Right? And so then it sits in your drawer, your closet. And then when you pull it out, you put on your shirt, there is now a line that goes straight down from top to bottom. Now that could be a style. It's like a crease in the middle. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to start a trend, but that's not my jam. So I feel a lot of times if I just do it, it's going to be faster. It's going to be the way that I want. And it's just easier.
Well, shout out to Mama Ryerson, because that's how I learned to fold. And I did come up with another solution, by the way. I just hang all my stuff. I don't fold shit anymore. It's like Just put it on a hanger, no problems. But go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't remember what I was going to say.
You were going to say how you learned it perfectly at Abercrombie,
yeah.
college, and how I do it completely wrong. So she loses out on the opportunity. I'm happy to fold. Actually, it's a great thing to do while watching Sports Center. I actually enjoy it, but that would be
Do you though?
Yes.
Really?
100%.
Oh, well, I'll give you all the socks and underwear then.
And somehow I'll mess those up too because I roll them up into a ball and you like them hanging out a little bit. I'm just telling you. So that would be a reason on the asking piece. Anything else on that before we get to the giving piece? Because I think innately people like to give.
Mm-hmm.
I think the human spirit is people are giving by nature. I do believe that to be the case. And there's lots of reasons to give. But here's what I really want to get out of this whole segment is if you don't do both, you're putting the whole world out of balance. And when the world's out of harmony, bad things happen. Like if you're not giving and asking, nothing works really all that well. So I that's what I want to get to. But anything else on the asking before we get to the giving?
Now I'm done talking about my control challenges.
So one of my favorite sayings when it comes to giving is giver's gain. And you and I both learned that at a personal development course that we went through. Somebody, I don't know that it's their term, but it's where I first heard that. And it's something that I say quite often because when you give, so much good comes from it. You feel better. They've shown you live longer. You have better health. And I think again, people have figured out that the more I give, the more I actually end up receiving. Now, don't give to receive. That's not what I'm trying to say. And when you do, typically it doesn't work very well. But if you give where it's just, I'm going to give without any, I'm not expecting to receive, that's when it goes well. So I know, look, Let's Go Give is the name of your nonprofit. So you're kind of a believer in this whole giving thing.
Yes, I'm a much better giver, I think, than a receiver. Giving has always been something I've been very passionate about because just knowing that when I was growing up, we did, and I went to Episcopalian school, Catholic high school, all the different, parochial schools that you can think of. And we did a lot of give backs. And so ever since I was little, like we'd go work at the homeless shelters and cook food for them and serve them food and all these things. And I just knew growing up, like, when people asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? I didn't know this word until I was 10 years old. But at 10 years old, I remember someone goes, you want to be a philanthropist? And I'm like, oh, yeah. How do you say that again? I had to learn how to say it. And yeah, that's exactly what my dream was to be a philanthropist, to give back.
Well, and you're doing it. I mean, it's pretty awesome. It's what you're passionate about. Obviously, it's specific to cancer research and prevention and everything that you're working on, which is amazing because of something so personal to you. But yeah, it's definitely something that you employ every single day. So what I want people to get out of this is I want you to ask yourself, am I a giver? Am I an asker? And rarely do people ask that question. Am I an asker? It sounds weird, actually. But if you're not an asker, if you're not asking for help, you're actually a taker, in my opinion, because you're taking the opportunity from other people to help you, to come in, give some of their expertise to you. So that's what I want people to really stop and think. Do I ask for help? And if I don't, why? And what am I taking away from someone that could lend something? Some of my greatest relationships have come from asking for help, asking for advice, asking for guidance. And people are typically, they're very willing to give. So that's what I would say is make sure you're giving, but more importantly, make sure you're asking too. Don't be a taker. Make sure to ask. So any other thoughts?
Oh, I think you did a great job. Good job.
Well, I asked her to be on the show today, and she gave by being here. I'm going to ask her to be on another one here shortly, too. So hopefully she'll do it again. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this subject. Are you an asker? Are you a giver? Are you both? Where can they let us know if they are?
Yeah. Check us out on all the social media outlets, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. I think I got them all. But we'd love to hear from you.
6 of them. 6 of them.
6 of them.
Can I also say really fast, we added a member to our team.
Yes.
And Amber, who you may or may not see, she likes to be in the background. She's actually over here to my right, but she is awesome. And I want to welcome her to the team. You're amazing. I'm so happy to have you on the team. So when you see our social media continue to grow, it is 100% due to her efforts. I do the content piece, but these ladies make it look so good. And I just appreciate you both. So what I would ask, here's my ask. I ask for you to share this episode with the people you love, because I know people in my own sphere. My mother, she is a giver. She is not an asker. And this would be the one thing I would say, Mom, I want you to ask for help more because you deserve it. You've given for so many years. So that's my ask to you. Share this episode with someone you know that could hear this message, and let's keep growing it. So thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys, remember, your mindset matters. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for listening. If this content is delivering value to you, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review us. That helps us build this community, and that is what we are all about. Building this community as big as we can, helping as many people as we can, and deliver as much value as possible. Be sure to head over to letsgowinpodcast.com for information on my coaching courses, and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at Let's Go Win 365. Let's go win and transcend in life.
This is the Let's Go Win podcast with your host, J.M. Ryerson.